So in this session, this is a continuous of our previous session, the busting one. Okay. So last time what we have done in the busting, like as a developer, we manually call the busting report. I mean to say like the seeded busting program. One initially we used to call our XML publisher report, and then once we pass the request ID of our XML publisher report to the busting, then the busting was using the control file to generate the remaining functionality. So now what we do is we'll
Okay.
consolidate all the functionalities and we just design a single
Hmm.
program, nothing but we just
Hmm.
name it as a main program. So from the main
Hmm.
program we'll call our XML report, and then we'll call our busting report, and also add another additional functionality. What I have done is like attaching the output of your busting report to a particular entity. Generally we call it as
Con-
entities, right? So
okay.
the PO, to the PO entity I'm just attaching the output. Okay. So generally
Okay.
this is one of the real-time scenario which I worked like when I was developing. So I just did the same
Okay.
functionality here.
Okay.
So first what we'll do is I'll just run the report and then we'll discuss what I have done. That should be easier way to
Okay.
understand. So
Okay.
I'll just open the purchase order. So there are few things which I hard coded actually, okay, to make it
Okay.
easier to understand. Okay.
Hmm.
So this is a pivot, and for this
Hmm.
pivot, as of now, just check the attachments. So I don't think, yeah, there are no attachments as of now. Okay, it's just empty.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now what I will do is I'll just run the program. So I did another program called XX bust report main, which is a PL SQL
Okay.
based. Okay, this is just a simple PL SQL
Okay.
package. From this particular package, we'll be calling two other requests. One is our XML report, another one is a busting report.
Okay.
Okay, let's submit. Now, yeah, this is getting submitted 594. So refresh. Now the XML report got completed. Now it will invoke our busting, right?
Hmm.
54, 55, and it has to raise one more request. Yeah, can you see 56?
Yeah. That,
So 56 got raised. This is our standard program, standard XML publisher busting program. And to this one, what we
yeah.
are passing? We are passing the request ID as 595, right? 595 I'm passing,
Yes.
which is nothing but our XML publisher report. So once the
Yes.
busting gets finished, what happens? The busting will generate attachments in our Unix box, right? Application server, I mean.
Yes. Yes.
So
The
here,
folder which we have been created.
yeah, which we created. So I think,
XX something.
yeah, I have here. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this is a location.
Yes. Yeah.
So now in this, we just got these particular outputs. So one more thing is here, as of now, it is generating multiple outputs. But in real time, when you run a report, expectation is that it has to generate one report. Okay. So in our case, why it is
Hmm.
generating two reports? Because it is because it is generating the data as per the data it is generating. Generally, the thing is when you run a PO, it has to generate the PO of a particular purchase order, not the multiple purchase orders, right? So consider
Yes.
that. Consider that. So now it got finished. Yeah, the total three requests got finished. 44, sorry, 94, 95, and 96. Now check the attachment,
Hmm.
right? One attachment got,
Yes.
and here just check the source, and can you see the file name? 6362 underscore
Yes.
global incorporation. Now you can just
Yeah.
open the
The
attachment,
purchase order number.
PDF, right? Of course, it will have two. Yeah, it's only have one record. Okay, perfect. 6362. And if you rerun the
Yes.
report, let us see if I rerun, what will happen? It will attach one more document now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a total full functionality. So for the business user, you just need to run only this particular main program. The remaining will get kicked automatically. And one more thing is you cannot design this program without following this approach. There is no way. Generally now, like for one program, three requests, actually it seems meaningless, but there is no other way. There is no shortcut.
Okay.
Okay. Because we are involving busting. If you don't involve busting, using a single request it would have done. But why are we involving
Done.
busting? Because we would like to generate the make use of dynamic template or make use of the different channel approach. That's the reason we are using busting here. Let us say in your
Yes.
requirement, if you don't involve any busting, the single program should be enough. Just generate the request. I mean, two requests. It may require two requests also, not a single request. Again, it require, except busting, it requires a normal XML publisher stuff.
Okay.
It has to have one more attachment now. It should have one more attachment. Okay, let's see whether it got completed or a failure. It got completed, but maybe. Okay, perfect, right? Got one more attachment. Of course, the sequence is same. It all depends upon logic what I have written. So sequence should be should get incremented by 1 or 2, or maybe you can have your Unix sequence also. Now source, again the same file name. Okay, so what all I have done is, the first thing is, this main program is designed using a PLC call logic. Okay, so let me open the package specification. Sorry, this is specification, just main procedure. So in the main procedure, what are we doing is, so from the main procedure, this is the main procedure. As of now, I'm not passing any parameter, but what you may do is, you may just pass your organization ID and the PO ID, and after that,
Okay, done.
we need to invoke our XML report. That is the first request we have to submit. Fnd request dot submit request. So one more important thing is, when you are invoking XML report, let us say if you are invoking XML report without busting concept, okay, what you need to do is, you need to add this, you need to call this add layout functionality also. If you don't call add layout, what will happen is, your request will get submitted but without layout.
Okay.
So now there are two scenarios I'm explaining here. Okay,
Yes.
you are clear, right?
I got it.
So scenario 1,
without busting. Yeah.
without busting.
Yes.
Scenario 2,
With busting.
okay, so without busting, always make sure that you need to call add layout functionality also, because you want the output. I mean, see, now in this case also, again, it depends. Let us say if user want to see the output here, then you need to call add layout. And also, why do you require add layout? Because we'll be trying to get the output from that particular request ID, and then we'll be adding up, right? That's the reason we require add layout. But with busting, I don't require add layout, because when you generally call the busting program, because it will generate your file at a particular file system location, right? That's the reason, doesn't need to call add layout, because busting will automatically call the template again. Busting will call my template again, right?
Yes.
That's the reason. Now here, here I just added Wanderlib because to just understand, okay, either way it will work. Add layout.
It will be working, right?
Yes, both ways it will work. Whether you mention the add layout or not, in the second scenario, it will be working. So call the add layout, then call your submit request. So this will call our XML report. Once this is done, once this is completed, then what you do, call the busting report, the seeded busting report, XDO bust trip. This is seeded busting report. So for here, for this one, the request ID is, we have to pass the request ID of your previous request, nothing but our XML publisher report. Okay.
You have to mention here v request ID.
Yes. Then, if you don't mention, how does your program? Yes.
I'm asking, hard-coded request ID we have to put, or like this one variable we have to put it? I'm asking.
How can you hard code? You cannot hard code, right? I need to dynamically find out what is my previous request ID. Here I'm getting the request ID. Right? V request ID.
Yes, got it. Yeah. We have passed the variable, right?
Now we have to pass it. So the dynamic variable, and once you submit, make sure that you commit, and also make sure that you wait for request. And once the request is completed, then what you do, I'm calling a procedure called attach procedure.
Okay.
Once the busting is done, I have designed another procedure called attach procedure. So for this one, what I'm doing is I'm passing the request ID. So the basic thing is here, this particular request ID, actually what I have written is not valid here. Okay. What I'm saying is, now here to your attachment procedure, what it requires? It requires where is your file and what is your file name. Okay. So there are many ways you can design the logic. There are many different ways you can find out the logic. Okay. So in one of the logic, what I can tell you is, like, generally whenever you generate a purchase order report, Assume that we are working on
Hmm.
a PO report. Now in the PO report,
Okay.
when you generate the PO report, we have followed a particular naming convention, right? Like a purchase order number
Yes.
followed by customer name. Okay.
Yes.
So now whenever you generate this particular report, whenever you generate a PO order report, always this will have a PO number followed by customer name in the particular location. Our XML publisher, this busting report location, right?
Hmm.
So this will be the name. So now what you can do is to the attachment procedure, what it requires, we know what is the location, but it doesn't know what is the file name. So now here I just pass the file, I just pass the request ID. Instead of passing the request ID, what you can do is you can just design one more query, which will give you your PO number followed by the file, your customer name, and pass that information to this attachment procedure. Okay.
Okay.
So now here in the attachment procedure is just a standard procedure. So of course, this is not required here. Few things may not be required. So I mentioned directory location. Here I hard coded my file name. Here I hard coded file name.
Okay.
So instead of hard coding file name, what you can do, you just pass your file name dynamically. Okay.
As a parameter.
Yes, it requires a parameter, right? Instead of passing a request ID, pass the file name.
Okay.
Okay. So now once you mention the directory file name, and the remaining is just a standard procedure. Insert your document to your FND logs and mention the appropriate values of your entity name and all those things. Okay. And then that's it. Here we have one more thing. You
Could
need
you?
to, here we have to pass your
Hmm.
PYID, PK1 value.
Okay. POID.
Yeah.
Okay. POID means like
PO header ID.
PO header ID. Okay.
Yeah. So this attachment procedure requires the file name and the PO header ID. Two things you have to pass.
Okay. What was the procedure? Attached procedure. It is a standard procedure. Attach proc something you have written, right? Yeah, this one.
This is a custom procedure which I have written. This is a custom
Oh,
procedure.
this one. Okay.
This is a custom
Okay.
procedure.
Okay.
In this one, we are
Yes.
calling the
Yes.
standard procedure. The first thing is we have to call this insert, like this particular one, we don't have a procedure. We have to manually call this DML statement, insert into FND lobs. Once you insert the document
Okay.
in FND lobs, then what we have to do is we need to call this API, FND underscore web attach dot add attachment. This is a procedure we have to call. So in the add attachment procedure, we need to mention what is your content, your file name, your URL, and all these things you have to mention.
Okay. And one more thing, this procedure which you have created, attach proc, it is only for busting, right?
Attach procedure is for the purpose of attaching the output to a particular entity. What do you mean by entity?
Okay. Okay, this one, like, okay.
Attaching to a particular entity. So whenever you open any standard form, you'll have this attachment functionality.
Yeah.
So generally in the invoices, POs, generally will have this kind of requirement.
Okay.
Now, like let us say the business user want to find out the purchase order data without running the report, right? So then they can just go to this attachments and you can find out.
Okay.
That's the reason.
This is the procedure.
And other reason is like let us say today you ran the report, okay, and you have changed
Hmm.
some data I mean next day, and then you ran the report again. So what will happen? The latest attachment will be there in the attachments, and the
Yes. The
business user
previous and the
can,
latest one will be there.
yes, business user can validate previous attachment and the today's attachment, latest attachment also, or something like that.
Okay.
So that is another advantage. Like if they want to find out what was the changes happened, they can just check out the attachments, and based on that they can validate. Okay, this is the latest one, this is the old one, and what was the changes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Now we have to register this program, right? PL SQL main program.
Yeah. So now coming to, yeah, I'll tell you that. So you understood the functionality what we have done here, or any doubts?
Yes. Yeah,
So,
got it. Once if I
so
worked, I
yeah,
can
one
tell
more
you.
thing I want to tell you here. So do you know what is FND lob, FND attachment document, or FND lobs? Did you ever work on that? Or
That I don't.
okay.
No, I don't know
So
that.
okay, so there is some functionality. Yeah, in the OAF also we have. Let me explain that. See, so attachment functionality in Oracle e-business suite. Okay.
Hmm.
So what Oracle has done is like generally like the things which I know is like generally if you consider the BOM, I mean to say like a bills of material,
Hmm.
or maybe work in process jobs, discrete jobs. or maybe purchase order or AP invoices. So in many places you require a particular attachment. Why do you require attachment? Generally for the business purpose, isn't it? So now
Okay.
here, when you say PO attachment, why do you require a PO attachment? It can be a number of reasons. It can be your purchase order data, it can be your customer information, or it can be a number of reasons. You may require some set of software document. I mean, soft copy. You may require a soft
Hmm.
copy. So nothing but it's a binary file, right? This particular soft copy is a binary file. So what Oracle has done is, so they have designed a generic attachment functionalities in every standard form. If you open the invoices, all you invoices or what bill of material, I can show you that. See, let us say I'll go to work in process. Not work in process. It's not as assigned. Okay, let me assign. This is a discrete manufacturing work in process or supply chain. I can say,
Okay.
and easy to understand. It's just a supply chain. So whenever any for the manufacturing company, like assume that like you created a sales order as an end user when you booked some particular product. So for internally, what will happen is it will create a sales order and it will create a what you say your pick release ship confirm, right? These all things. It will hit the job.
Yes.
Now can you see attachment here? Attachments.
Mm.
So
Yes.
every standard form, most of the standard form will have this attachment functionality. Okay. So now what
Okay.
Oracle has done is like here it just have around four tables, four to I mean like couple of tables I can say rather than four, like FND logs, FND document attachments, FND entities, FND document
Hmm.
categories. Okay, FND documents or something. There are a couple of tables which are there. Okay. Now what Oracle has
Hmm.
done is the linkage between your now let us say when you create a job, assume okay let us create a job. Okay, I'll just create a job now.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll just save it now.
Hmm.
Okay, it got saved. Now I'll just click on attachments. Now here, so when you're attaching a particular document, we have to mention what is the category of your attachment. Now let us say generally when you now in this case let us say I'm creating a discrete job, and when I attach some document, if I mention which category it belongs for the business user, it will be advantage for him to verify okay whether this belongs to whether this belongs to a purchase item, whether it belongs to a particular what you say byproduct item, or whether it belongs to a kitting item or something like that. Okay, for that purpose we have a document category. So generally in the normal
Hmm.
document also you have some like you'll have a different set of documents, right? Like it's a payslip document or it is a relieving letter or your experience certificate, a number of things, right? The same way. Now I'll
Yes.
just go with a VIP job schedule attachment. Okay. You need to mention your title. Okay. If you don't mention, it's not mandatory, so you can ignore. Click on source. Now I have to mention what is the data type. Data type is nothing but what is your content type. Now here I want to attach something here, but the content type, it can be URL, it can be plain text, it can be short text, it can be a file. Just observe here: file, long text,
Okay.
short text, and web page. You can mention a website URL also. If you mention data type as file, then what will happen? It will call your OAF page, one of the standard OAF page, and here we need to mention our attachment. Let us say I'll click on browse, and I'll just attach a particular document. Maybe I'll try to attach a PDF if I have. Yeah, sample. Yeah, so here I'll just rename this one, okay? With sample PO.
Hmm.
Okay, so here I'll just attach this one. Click on submit. So now it displayed this confirmation. Just close this one. Now here go to your standard
Hmm.
forms. Now it will ask you whether it has been uploaded. Just click on yes. Right? WIP sample. This got attached. Now click on save. Now
Yes.
try to open this document. It has to show the PDF. Right? WIP sample PDF.
Yes.
This is my file. Now where exactly this got stored? Observe here. Very simple. So this all the information whatever we have created just now, the relating to file will be available in a couple of tables. One is if you observe, fnd lobs order by upload date. I think I would have provided this descending. Or you can find out help record history. This is easier one. fnd attachment doc, this one table, right? So
Yes.
this is not correct
Yeah.
actually. What we can do is select star from this one,
It's
right?
yeah. Yeah.
And what you can do, where okay, where trunk of creation equal to trunk of sysdate. That's it, right? Can you see web sample pivot
Hmm.
PDF, right? Discrete job,
Yes.
and data type is 6. Data type 6 belongs to file attachments. Okay,
Yes.
and document ID is this one. And now, yeah, this is my document ID, and you can find the information of our FND logs table also. And security ID,
Okay.
yeah, user, not this one. Yeah, entity name. Can you see entity name? So for earlier, our entity name was PO
Yes.
headers for the PO, and this is the entity for the discrete
Hmm.
jobs. So for each particular functionality, you'll have a this one. And observe here, PK1 value. So nothing but primary key value. So generally for the jobs, VIP entities, you can identify a particular unique job using organization ID, inventory organization ID, followed by the VIP entity ID. Now this is my VIP entity ID. Observe here. What I can do is let us say VIP entities, where VIP entity ID is equal to this one. It has to give me a record. Got it? Organization ID is 204. So what exactly this will do is, like when you attach some document, it has to know to which entity belongs to and to which particular primary key.
Yes.
So that's how it identifies. That's how Oracle has designed. So PK1 is nothing but primary key. Primary key is like there are total 5 PKs. PK1 to
Okay.
PK5. So now when you are calling the API also, it is having those particular 5 PKs. So in my case, I just mentioned only PK1 because this is enough actually. I'm
Okay.
attaching something at the header level. PK1 is enough. Let us say if you're attaching some documents at the line level, then you have to pass your PO header ID and
P.
followed by PO line ID also.
Yeah.
And
PO line ID. Yeah.
this entity name may differ for lines, will differ. Okay.
Okay.
So you can find out all those information generally, like there is a table called FND document entity or something is there.
Okay.
FND document entities or something. Yeah. You can just search this.
TN. Okay.
Right, that's it. This will suffice.
Yeah. And document entity ID.
Yeah.
First name is it.
Okay. So this is how we can find out which entity it belongs to, and you need to mention the appropriate entity while attaching the document.
Okay.
So this is all about the attachment functionality. So this if all the information about your file attachment will be by default will get stored in the standard documents. And even the attachment functionality what we use in the OAF also will just use the same functionality. This will get stored in the FND lobs table only.
Hmm. Hello.
Okay, 1 minute, sorry. Okay. So in
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
in the OAF page also, like we have this functionality, right? Attachment link, or I don't remember the other one, but attachment link or attachment table. So whenever you use any of the OAF standard attachment functionalities, this that also uses the same FND lob tables.
Okay. Same
Okay.
tables.
Same thing.
Okay.
And there also we have to mention the entity ID and the PK1 value. And the document category, very much
Okay.
important. Document category is very much important because the reason is, if you see attachments here, each document now, like while attaching this one, it is not showing all the document categories. It all depends upon what document categories are enabled for a particular entity.
Yes, that's also right.
So we have to make sure that, because last time when I was doing some functionality, we just got this issue. So attachments were happening everything
Okay.
perfectly, but we mentioned a different category name. That's the reason we could not see the attachments.
Okay.
Okay. So if you don't know the category name, just mention miscellaneous.
Yeah.
That's the easier one.
Okay. Acha.
But
If you don't know the category name, we can put it miscellaneous. Okay.
yeah, but like client will mention it because we have to go with the client stuff, right? But initially during design or during development stage, you can just assume some functionalities, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Test the results.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clear on this one?
Yes, yes, cleared now.
And now one more thing you can observe here, like, okay, let me go there. Purchase. Yeah. Now attachments here. Now let us say miscellaneous. Oh, someone attached some image here. Just see advantage image. Oh
Hmm.
God. Okay. Now here I can mention the short text, right? So if I mention the short text, it got enabled, right? Now
Yes.
let us say if I mention the content as URL, I need to just mention the URL. It's simple. Yeah,
Yes.
I want to show you something here. 1 minute. Okay, and now I'll just mention the URL as like this. Oh no, this will not work.
Oh.
Okay, this will not work. Okay, so now I'll tell you. So now when you follow this approach, if you are storing the attachment in your FND log table, and if your data generation is very huge, don't store them as file attachments. That will screw up your database. What I'm saying
Okay.
is, let us say your company is very much into e-commerce kind of thing, like where the number of file attachments are more, then it will eat up your total database, right?
Oh, yes.
So what we can do is, again, I know, like, see, there are many things which I don't know also, but I'm just telling some scenarios which I've come across. So what we have done is, in
Hmm.
our scenario, like here, our client was a manufacturing client. So what was happening was, like, whenever we create like that, actually that module was totally different one, but I'm telling the scenario. So because of the business operation, the data size of your FND tables is getting increased so much. Okay, and the other reason was there is a replica happening in that. So then what we have done is, the solution what we have implemented is, rather than storing them as the file attachments, we have stored them as a web page. Nothing but we just provide a URL. But how do you provide a URL? I'll show you. So now here,
Yes. Hmm.
let us copy this first one, any of the attachments, or maybe two attachments. I'll just copy these attachments. Now, like OAF, in the OAF, like we have a Java tab, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that will help us now. Oracle VIS apps ST common. Okay, and
Java.
here,
First one.
yeah, that is Java tab, but we require this one, not web apps. Okay, I think this one. Where JSP pages are available here, right?
Hmm.
OHTML, yeah. Go to OH, not OHTML. Yeah, this one, I guess. Not this one. Okay, if we don't know better, we'll just echo OA underscore HTML. Okay,
Hmm.
make use of this one here. Web apps OA core. Common web apps, right? I think we are there
Hmm.
actually. Anyways, now here, okay. So generally, here, whatever the file, can you see OA.jsp here? So why I'm telling this one, because
Yes.
when you just generally open in your instance, whatever you mention in that will get picked up automatically. Now let us say if I just mention OA.jsp, it will get picked up, right? Or maybe sorry,
Yes.
OA underscore HTML I have to mention, right? OA underscore HTML, and you can just mention OA.jsp. right? This is what we have to
Yes.
mention. Now, maybe it is not working, but I'll try to show you one. Let us say I'll just simply design one HTML page first of all to understand this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
This is my HTML now. I'll simply move the HTML file here.
Hmm.
Okay. I just moved my file. Now I'll try to open this one from the server.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Right.
Perfect.
Now what we do is copy this one, copy the URL. Now we know what is the URL, right? So what you can do is simply copy your attachments to this location. Copy your attachments to this location. So where was that attachment? Yeah, these things.
Okay.
Okay. And you can create your own directory
Hmm.
also. It will work. Still it will work.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now this is my file name. So this is my file name now, right? Now if I
Yes.
just mention this
Yes.
one, this also should work. If you let us say if you try to open this one in your browser, it has to show the PDF document. If it doesn't show, it means your file name is wrong. Can you see? I could open
Hmm.
my PDF from the browser. What I can do now, simply I'll mention the URL here. That's it. Save. Now
Yes.
click on open document. It has to open the attachment. That's it.
Yeah.
Now what is happening here? You're not storing any content on your web on your database. Of course, just a bytes
Ye-
of data, not more than that. So actual copy
Yes.
could be more. Now let us say generally in the business scenario, you may have 10 MB or 15 MB or 50 MB documents also. If you are storing the repeated
Hmm.
documents, see in our PO case it's not repeated, or maybe let us say in a PO case it's a unique document, but in general in our case it was quite different. Okay, so we had a repeated documents. So that is the
Yeah.
reason our database was bombarded with 10 GB of data every day.
Oh,
Yeah,
10 GB.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is one of the thing you can follow. I mean, approach which we followed to solve
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Clear?
Definitely.
So now let us say if your requirement is rather than file, if you want to go with web page attachment, what you can do? Very simple. So while generating your PDF, make sure that you generate your PDF in one of these particular web apps location, OA core location. Then only it will work as a URL. Else it will not work as a URL.
Yes.
Okay. So generate your PDF
Yeah.
in one of
Yeah.
these location. Okay. From the busting using busting control file. You let us what you can do, just create one more directory. XML busting or whatever it is. Okay, maybe cannot get real path. Sorry, I think I'm creating it. Okay, new. Okay, yeah. Access bust. Mention the permissions. Right. That's it.
Hmm.
So what you do
First.
now? Generate your attachments here. Now let us. I'll try to show this one also. I'll just move my file here. Now what's the
Hmm.
location? XX bust, right? So instead of
Hmm.
this one, XX bust slash
File name.
bibsample.pdf. That's it. Try to open this in the
Yes.
browser. Always validate this functionality before you perform. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is all about the attachment, busting, blob stuff. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, like we are getting two documents, right? Two PDF files. How to get like one PDF file?
See, one basic thing is first of all, as of now, we are getting two
Hmm.
PDFs because
We having two.
we have two records. That's the reason we are getting two PDFs.
Yes.
But in general real-time
Yes.
scenario, that is not the thing we have to follow. We will be passing a
Hmm.
unique right. You will be passing a PO header ID or you'll be passing a sales order header ID where you just require one document.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the reason we are getting two. In our case, we are getting 2 because we hard coded, but in real time, it will generate only one document. It has
Acha.
to generate only one document. If it generates 2 documents, then that doesn't make any logical functionality. We have
Yes,
to make
yes,
sure that
yes.
you generate only one document,
Yes.
because
We can use all
you are,
functionalities like
yeah, because if you like
sorry.
there are a lot number of scenarios, like what we can do is consider scenario based here. Now, if you are
Hmm.
passing, let us if you're generating a report for a PO report, so for a given customer, for a given PO number, you need to generate a report. Nothing but you should get only one document. Simple,
Yes.
right? So you'll at any point of time
Yes.
when you run the report, you'll get only one document. So then that's the reason you'll not have any issue.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if you are getting, let us say you have designed a busting report which generates multiple PDFs, then your program in like a till busting what you have done is correct. The remaining steps while attaching, you need to be very much careful. We need to read the proper
Hmm.
file name and all those things.
Yes.
But generally this should suffice. This will suffice in most of the scenarios.
Yeah. If I will practice on today from this one.
Yeah, this requires extensive functionality, extensive practice. I have designed this busting report around 10-15 times. That's the reason I just I'm just clear on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Else it is impossible, boss.
See, whatever the topics which you are telling, it's easy to understand as you are having an experience. But as a fresher, if I'm working on this, before that, going to the real time, I should work on this, taking a sample reports, taking sample queries, and working on the process only itself.
Yeah, it takes time.
Query, yeah, query can be developed, but the process is like step by step. If you follow, then that will be working a lot.
So even attachment functionality, remember like last time I could not tell you the attachment because it took much time for me. Independently, I designed one procedure. I'll show you that also. Maybe in the email I provided you, but actually I haven't. I like during our session I could not tell you because that time I have not finished. There was a very small mistake.
Okay.
Use like this is the one attached procedure if you have seen. So in this one I hard
Hmm.
coded all things and tried to attach, but it was not working. This code what
Yeah.
we have is ready made. It's nothing I have invented. It's ready made, but still what happens is
Okay.
according to according to our requirement, our content, somewhere you'll have some issue. So
Yeah.
this is an independent attachment procedure. Now let us say if, for a given PO, if you just want to attach some document, you just simply mention all these numbers appropriately. That's it. It will solve. So the
Yes.
entity name what I mentioned was wrong. Here I just mentioned this entity, right? So I just mentioned some other entity and did not work. So it took much time for me to investigate what was the issue. Because sometimes what happens is the samples what they provide, like it could be by mistake or something like, right? It's a manual stuff. So maybe they have done some other functionality or in some other entity, but that did not satisfy. Then I just did all the things and then later find out some bug.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So and today we'll just discuss one more small topic also. XDO functionality. Okay, XDO functions. So in the
We'll go for registration now.
sorry,
Registration.
no, that I require. I need to design the samples, so it takes time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Tomorrow we'll see. Okay.
yeah. So XDO functions, we just need to know a couple of functions, like around maybe 5 to 10 functions, not more than that actually.
Hmm.
So, but why do you
Okay.
require XDO functions? I'll try to understand the purpose first. So XDO
Hmm.
functions like a normal, like in the SQL we have functions, right? Like to underscore char or to date, these all things, right? So sysdate. So we have most of the functions available in the XDO level also. Okay. XDO nothing but our
Okay.
XML publisher concept, XML data object.
Yeah.
I forgot the name,
Yes.
but yeah, we can consider XML data. So in the XDO functions, we have some set of functions which provides a general usage in our XML reports. Okay. So the purpose what we can come across is like maybe of course like a displaying a sysdate, or maybe let us say you have some data you want to convert them to uppercase or a lowercase. Okay. Or maybe conditional logic,
Okay.
nothing but let us say if you have some value greater than 1,000, you want to display in some color. If it is less than 1,000,
Hmm.
you want to display some color, or let us say designation as manager display some particular, you just want to highlight them. Okay. Or maybe
Yeah.
some other scenario is, let us say, assume that like there are multiple departments in your let us say you are displaying a purchase order report, and if a purchase order
Hmm.
type belongs to standard one, you want to display some particular content. Conditionally you want to display some particular content here. And let us say if your
Hmm.
your purchase order type is blank, you want to display some content too. dynamically displaying a
Okay.
content here. Conditional logic.
Yeah.
You can just implement your if
Oh,
conditions here. If conditions here.
okay.
Okay. And even in our case now, we have used busting report to find out the, to generate the different templates at runtime, right? So instead of that, we can solve this particular functionality using XDO functions also. A dynamic template selection, I mean to say.
Okay.
Okay, so it depends on the requirement whether you have to go with the busting or not. So before choosing busting, try to go with the XDO functions. If you cannot solve using XDO function, then you have to go with the busting. See, busting is preferred when you have multiple channels. Okay, when you have multiple channels, that's
Yeah.
the best approach.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll just show you very sample templates, very basic templates. Okay, it's very simple one, but just understand the functionality. Okay, just see the preview. Right. Okay,
Hmm.
now, so here it is just a simple group report, but there are few things which you need to observe here. So department name, it is getting displayed in red color because we just simply hard coded, isn't it? I just simply hard coded here. Let me close the other one. Okay. So department
Okay.
name,
Yeah.
it is displaying red color because I just simply hard coded it. Okay. Now, other thing is like there is something called AC non-AC, right? Accounting or non-accounting. So now here it displayed AC, right? And here it displayed non-accounting, right? Can you see it displayed AC here and it displayed non-AC here, and here it displayed Y. Here it has displayed nothing. Okay, but why it has not displayed
Yes.
or why it displayed? Let us observe that. So accounting,
Hmm.
what is the condition I've written? Again, we have to write everything manually. For XDO functions, you need to add up. You need to write everything manually. Okay. If department name is called
Hmm.
accounting, then display AC. I just wrote some condition here, if and end if.
O- Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now for
Hmm.
non-AC, it is quite opposite. Very simple. If it is not equal to this one, display not equal to.
Yes. Not
Okay.
equal to. Yes.
Okay. So wherever you have now here the name of the department was accounting. That's the reason it displayed AC here. Here the name of the department was operation. That's the reason it has displayed non-AC. Now the other one is again same thing here. Choose.
Hmm.
It's like switch case. Rather than using if else, you can use switch also.
Yes.
Right?
Choose.
Choose.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now other thing
Hmm.
we have here. Now here also, if you see salary, here I mentioned higher these things, right? And here also in the job
Hmm.
level we have something called software engineering. This was displayed
Yes.
only for IT. For others it was not displayed. So what is the condition we
Yes.
have written? Very simple if condition only. Same if condition. Similar if condition. If job is equal to IT, display the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we can write up some logic also. Let us say,
So all XDO functions are manually,
yeah,
right?
we have to write manual. Yeah.
Then from where we will getting those all functions?
Means
Through Google
you have this
or else
XDO.
any standard app?
No, you'll have XDO developer guide. So from there we can get all these things.
Yeah. May I get that developer guide?
Yeah, it's a free.
XDO one.
Yeah, it's a free. You'll get it.
Okay. Yeah. So this was the right. And if. Hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Dynamic text. HTML.
Right. So this
Yeah.
dynamic
Got
text
it.
got displayed only for IT. Remaining it is not displayed. Simple.
Yes.
The same thing you can apply for any level. If conditions, like generally most of the times you'll come across if only. There is no other condition which I generally come across. Now you can just
Okay.
play around with this, like colors and all these things, whatever you want.
Hmm.
Right. Now you can control the total table level also. Now let us say, I'll tell you one more thing. Very simple. Mm, Okay. Now okay, so there is some section you want to display only for IT field. Then what you can do, you can just apply this logic, isn't it? And other thing what you can do
Yes.
is, now let us say, okay, we can apply this logic also. Now let us say for departments who belong to accounting, you want to display one region, and for department who belong to a
Hmm.
different one, you want to display another logic. Let us do that actually, rather than this. I'll just do that. So I'll just remove this. Okay. Now what I want to do
Hmm.
is, so we just want to display two table regions based on the department. Very simple. So this is department accounting, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just make
Yes.
use of this if condition.
Okay.
If accounting. Okay.
Hmm.
I'll remove. I just wrote only if condition here. End if is
Yes.
end if is done here.
Yes. Prop- Yeah. And if
End if AC.
AC, yes.
Okay. Let's run this first. Okay. So for other departments, it is not displaying. Only for accounting, it displayed.
Yes. It's
Right.
around, yeah.
Now what we can do, let us say will try to use the same copy paste, but for other non-accounting departments, I just want to display in some color.
Hmm.
Okay. So what
Hmm.
I can do, I simply mention not equal to.
Yeah, not equal to.
So I'll just say NAC.
Yeah.
Now here I'll just do a different color. So the same thing you can apply for our busting templates which we have designed, right? We have designed separate templates rather than just using the if condition. We have designed different templates, right?
Yes.
So don't make your
Yes.
code
Yes.
complicated. So generally, when you are trying to design something, if you know something, don't want to, like don't try to do in a hard, I mean, what is a tougher manner. Try to do in a
Yes.
very easier things first, and if it is not achievable, then only go for a complex thing. Generally, busting is a little bit complex.
Yes.
Okay, right?
Yes.
Accounting, operations. Maybe there are no employees. Sorry, this is the
Hmm.
one. Sorry, this is the one, right?
Yeah. There.
Re- Research data, sales data. That's it. So for only accounts, it displayed in different color, and other non-accounting, it displayed in another color. The same thing you can apply in many places, different logics you can apply. And there are some basic XDO functions which I have not told you, but I'll just pass you the developer guide. You can just go across. I mean, you can go through them.
Yeah. And how to get the dollar symbol?
Dollar
And if
symbol.
the amount is in,
Hmm.
yeah. And if the amount is in negative, I want in red color. If the amount is in positive, I want it in green color. How to get that one?
Very
Not
simple.
even hard
So
code.
very simple. Just see here. Now here, when I mentioned here, if salary is greater than 3,000, I just displayed higher, right? So instead of higher,
Hmm.
what you can do, if salary is, let us say, either instead of using higher, I can just mention minus. I mean, I can just mention minus and followed by the value, right?
Hmm.
So instead of displaying lower, let us say, either way, see here, if this is using this particular, if using, like, there are again, like, there are many variations of if condition. Okay, you can just follow this particular if condition. This is a very quite easier one rather than the other one. Okay, there are many variations of your if conditions also. Syntaxes, XDO
Okay.
fx is there, XDO is there. Now this is quite easier one
Okay.
if you observe here. It's quite similar normal
Yes.
logic, right? Now what I can do is, this is my salary, right? Okay. So now
Yes.
if salary, okay, I'll just hard code, okay? Time being, what is the value we have? If salary is equal to 3001, okay,
Hmm.
I'm just displaying salary again, okay? Time being,
Hmm.
and in a red color, and bold. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Same thing can apply any places. You can use is
Okay.
equal to, greater than, less than, whatever it is, you can use it.
Okay.
Many
Yes,
places
sure.
generally like XDO, just using of XDO, like you are appropriate these things like what you say, if conditions. And last time we discussed the dynamic column report, right? Again, that is again a complex one.
Yes.
Clear?
Yeah. Yeah. And may I get a few samples, like how you have worked on this if conditions or that? Any some other XDO functions which you have worked already? May I get samples along with that, along with the developer guide?
Yeah, in this one, I think this is the only thing I have. XDO level, this is the thing which I have. XDO developer
Hmm.
guide, I'll just pass it. You can just go through them. Okay, but don't try to read much on this at this stage. Better try to understand the other functionalities, then you can come up to this one.
Yes.
Try to understand the if
Yeah,
conditions,
that's what
group
I
by
was.
logic. Try to understand this if condition.
Yes.
Yeah. Try
Yes.
to
Yes.
try to display like try to work. Yeah, sorry. I think I have one sample. One more thing. The normal functionalities I have, I think. XDO functions, work ek tha, I guess.
Be a population. Start.
Yeah, this one. Hmm. Can you see? Very simple. All these XDO functions I applied here. Just load any data. Actually, this particular functions are not dependent upon your data, but as your XML publisher requires some data, just upload any valid XML data. Okay. I'll
Hmm.
just click on preview. Right. LPAD, RPAD,
Yes.
substring, lower, everything. These are all normal XDO functions, which you generally get come across. I mean, which you can get from the developer guide.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. I was asking one more thing.
Hmm.
Oh, who is this? The registration. Today we have explained about the PLC call procedure and busting program, right?
Hmm.
The concurrent program registration. I was asking. You need a samples for that? I was just telling something like.
No, see, there are a couple of things you need to understand here. So generally, like
Hmm.
when you are creating a new concurrent program creation, generally we
Hmm.
always go with your UI approach. Okay. So
Hmm.
for migration, we need to use FND load approach. Okay. But generally,
Hmm.
creation not only just UI, you also have APIs for it. Now, let us say you want to create
Hmm.
a you want to create a concurrent executable and concurrent program using APIs. Yes, we can do it.
Hmm.
So, are you asking about migration or creation?
Both. I want to know.
Okay, we can discuss that.
Migration also.
Generally, migration is the last topic.
Sure.
So that it requires some shell script.
Yeah.
We'll try to need to. I mean, what we do is like we'll just design one total shell script. In that, we'll try to
Okay.
understand like how do you migrate AWL objects, how do you migrate XML reports, how do you migrate your RDF reports, how do you migrate your OIF pages. Everything we'll discuss in the migration.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay then. Chalo. Bye.
Bye.